Hey there, firelights. You found your way into my quiet corner of Eidolon, and that means it's story time. I'm Flicker, rogue archivist, reluctant icon, and proud pain in the Dominion's ass. And this is LoreSMR, a little spell of calm in a world that never stops spinning. Here we read by glowlight, we whisper secrets, we wander the dusty pages of old myths, half-true histories, and the things that the Empire tried to erase. Some days it'll be bedtime tales. Other times it'll be outlaw ballads, love letters smuggled through dimensional rifts, or Shadowclaw legends they don't dare print anymore. But today, it's stories from a world not unlike ours. Stories from a world called Runeterra. So grab a blanket, light a candle, or hell, keep that dagger close if you're feeling edgy. We're diving deep into a new story today. This is A Smouldering Coal by Roy Graham. A Smouldering Coal by Roy Graham. This far north, the nights are dark. The shadows glow long in the hall of Ash and her blood-sworn groom. The braziers burn down to smouldering coals. They may seem extinguished, dead, but even a fool knows not to grasp one with a naked hand. Even a fool. He isn't much to look at in truth. Tall, yes, and strong. But that dark hair that falls around his shoulders is flecked with grey. He does not look like a figure of myth and legend. Seated at the head of his table, Tryndamere looks like a mere man. His eyes are a flat green, dull like an animal's. And yet, I cannot meet them for long. I witness the rage they conceal, and it nearly took me as the ember takes the straw. It happened in my first winter as battle maiden to Ash. I was young, brash, and very bored. My new life was not the adventure I once dreamed it might be. When she went to fight the Northern Raiders, Ash had left me in the Great Hall to watch over her bloodsworn. Tryndamere wasn't mustering war parties or howling with battle lust. He was holding audience with a collection of envoys from local clans. Not even thanes or war mothers, but little men and women who believed the world turned on the precise numbers of cattle ranging in their pastures. The dullest of the lot happened to be talking just then, a doddering greybeard.
War Mother Ash has taken 1 in 3 of our warriors north to throw back the raiders of the Winter's Claw. That is 1 in 3 hands not tilling the earth. 1 in 3 eyes not watching the flock. I understand your people never raised crops or herded animals, but in more civilized lands...
I wanted to see the elder's head parted from his shoulders. This was the War Mother's bloodsworn he was addressing. From my silent post behind Tryndamere, I glared up at him, hoping to see a flicker of anger under that passive mask. I already knew, though, that I would be disappointed. By the gods, I wanted him to show some of his legendary temper. So young and so foolish. I have never forgotten that. I wanted to see it.
Allow me, Bloodsworn, to educate you on the proper management of the lands west of the White Hills.
The greybeard went on. I found my hand curling around the leather wrapping of my sword. Before I could act on my rashness, the great wooden doors of the hall swept open. The braziers sputtered and hissed as wind and snow pushed their way inside, and with them came figures, 6 of them. At their head was a tall woman, silver braids peeking out from a travelling hood dusted with frost. As she pushed it back, I recognised the jagged white scar that crossed her face. Heldred? The war mother of my tribe fixed me with a cold stare. It was then that I noticed her followers, wrapped in furs and leathers and armour, pushing the great doors shut. Warriors, one and all, with weapons drawn and bloodied. A war party. Around the hall, the envoys had gone silent, staring nervously at the new arrivals. Tryndamere watched them too, though if the presence of bare weapons in his hall irked him, I could not tell. Heldred ignored me, starting for Tryndamere. I stepped in front of her. Go no further, War Mother. Sigra, she said, her voice ice, cold as winter. You do me honour to still call me by that title. I am glad you haven't forgotten your first oaths. Why are you here, Heldred? Step aside, child. If your new war mother was within my grasp, I would wet my axe with her blood. But blood must be shed, so a second will have to do.
Heldred of 3 Rivers.
A voice echoed in the darker corners of the hall. Tryndamere.
You have come a very long way. Why do you seek battle?
Hail, Bloodsworn, she said. I will tell you. 5 days passed as the sun rose over our village. Something else rode in with it. Raiders, reavers, killers. The words sunk into me like knives. Winter's Claw, I whispered. Aye, she barked. Winter's Claw. They came while the man you defend sat behind his stout walls, growing fat and slow, and did to us what the Winter's Claw always does. Now, there was a time when we might have driven them off, but that was before Ash called for warriors, before she took 1 out of every 3 hands strong enough to swing a blade. Her voice became a bitter hiss. We couldn't hold. Speech would not come to me. I should have been there, I thought. If I hadn't oathed myself to another, I could have thought. How many lost? Your elders hid in time, Sigra. For that I am grateful. But many did not. Too many. Slowly, Tryndamere pushed himself to his feet.
I am sorry, War Mother, for your loss. I know what it's like to lead a desperate people. Bring your survivors here. They can share our food, our walls. You are welcome.
It was a noble offer. Heldred only spat on the floor. From her belt, the War Mother pulled her axe. I do not want your walls or your food, Bloodsworn. I want blood for blood.
The old ways say I am due a challenge, so a challenge I make.
This is foolishness, I said. Think of our kin. Think of my elders, I did not say.
You forget your place, child. I will not say it again. Step aside.
Fury tightened my hand around the hilt of my sword. In one motion I drew it, the steel glowing orange in the firelight. No, Heldred, I have forgotten nothing. I am a battle maiden, sworn to defend this hall. On my oath, I accept your challenge.
So be it. If you are in such a hurry to die, I'll make it quick.
Enough!
Bellowed Tryndamere.
I will have no Avarosan blood spilled around this hearth. We have enemies enough without killing each other.
The echo of his words shook the very timbers of the hall. Never had I heard him speak like this. I could not miss something dangerous just under the surface. But Heldred only sneered.
I do not fear you, Bloodsworn. Life behind these walls has dulled your edge. Mine is still killing sharp.
I caught her first blow on my sword. The shock of it nearly dislocated my shoulder. I had barely recovered by the time Heldred swung again. I was quick, but she had experience and strength on her side. Heldred's overhead chop missed my skull by inches and buried the axe head in the floor. I lunged forward, thrusting for her, but with a ferocious grunt she wrenched her axe free, backhanding the flat end into my ribs. Pain shot through my chest and I sagged to one side, unable to keep my footing. From the floor I raised my sword, pointed feebly at the woman who had once been my war mother. She struck it from my hand dismissively.
I will tell your kin you fought bravely, Sigra Battle Maiden.
Heldred raised her axe to deliver the killing stroke, and I squeezed my eyes shut. But it never fell. I looked up. Tryndamere had caught the axe. Caught it in his open hand. Blood dripped from the blade down his arm onto the timbers below.
This is not our way. Avarosans protect one another.
From the floor, I watched as the open wound on his palm sealed itself shut. Impossible. He was speaking through gritted teeth, and that lurking danger I had sensed earlier now screamed in my head. Run, it said, run now while you can. For a moment, I saw that Heldred heard it too. But then, with a snarl, she swung her axe again. A mighty two-handed blow meant to cleave the man in half. Tryndamere roared. It was an inhuman sound, a fury deeper than the roots of mountains, as bottomless as the deepest lake. He roared, and then he lunged for her. That was 2 winters ago. 2 winters, and I have not forgotten what I saw. Probably I never will. Probably I shouldn't. I am oath-sworn still, bound to fight by his side. When I stand guard over my barbarian charge, motionless at his long table, I see Heldred's face twisted in agony. When the fires burn low in the long hall, I hear her screams. I have seen what lurks beneath those placid, dull eyes. Every night, I pray to my ancestors that I will not see it again. Some things are best left in stories. Some coals are better left smouldering. Thank you so much for being here for this first read through, and that, my little firelights, is that. If you want to hear more of these stories, please click the like and subscribe down below, and make sure to click that little bell so you get notified when these stories drop. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon in the links below. Find me on Blue Sky for random shenanigans. Be kind to one another, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See you in the drift, Firelight.